We are going to begin, though, with that major emergency unfolding in Los Angeles right now. 4 major fires are currently burning out of control right around the city. Vision showing the sheer power of those blazes. Residents near Malibu capturing the moment the flames encroach on their home.
You're gonna be okay.
The speed of those flames, terrifying, isn't it? Crews on the ground are struggling to gain the upper hand as the fires are fueled by those powerful winds.
People in this area are still in harm's way. Authorities say that they are not out of the woods yet, and still these incredibly strong winds are picking up, fanning flames like this, continuing to destroy properties in the heart of this fire zone.
At least 2 people have been killed and there are multiple people with significant injuries. Authorities giving this dire update.
The fire is growing. We have no percentage of containment. We have an estimated 1,000 structures destroyed.
Live now to 9 US correspondent Jonathan Kersley, who is at the Pacific Palisades fire near Malibu. Jono, it has completely devastated the landscape there.
Oh, it absolutely has. We've had to come away to the coastline in order to have enough signal to bring you this latest update. But right across here, there are charred hills and burnt remains of homes inside Palisades itself. It is utterly devastating. Home after home has been wiped out. This is an area that is very popular with visitors. It is a area home to celebrities too, but this now, essentially there is not much left of much of the township here. Still, there are people trying to come back in here today to find out whether or not their home is still standing. They are dealing with fires still burning in and around these hills. We spoke with one woman and her friend inside a vehicle earlier today, and this is what they had to say.
Yeah, we grew up here, so this is amazing.
I've never seen this. It's just
the first for us. I mean, we grew up with fire in the Palisades, but this
not
is
like
not
this.
Anything like this.
Never thought these streets would burn.
This smoke is still billowing from the Pacific Palisades fire, and it is so dangerous here still that they cannot get water bombers in the air to try and attack this fire from the air. They haven't been able to do that since yesterday. And the other worrying aspect about not only this fire but the one to the north at Altadena is that there is 0% of these fires contained. None. It is still a deeply worrying emergency, and there's dangerous wind warnings in place for hours to come.
OK, Jono, thank you. Welcome back. And now we have more on our breaking news from the United States, where 2 people have been killed and thousands have been forced to evacuate amid a wildfire emergency in Los Angeles.
Priceless Greek and Roman artefacts have come agonisingly close to going up in flames as the blaze threatened the Getty Villa Museum. Getty's Director of Facilities, Michael Rogers, joins us right now live from Los Angeles. Michael, hello and thanks so much for being with us. It's been a very, very anxious 24 hours. We're just seeing those incredible pictures. Awful, awful stuff going on where you are. How is everyone holding up?
We're doing well. You know, our hearts and thoughts go out to the Los Angeles and Southern California community. There's been many, many people impacted by this firestorm. So Getty itself, at the Getty Villa, we're doing well. Our collections are intact. Our buildings are intact. We did have some fire on our property and the vegetation and trees, but all in all, we're safe and we're doing well.
Well, that is good to hear, at least for you and your staff members. What about the nature of the collections? I mean, we know that they are priceless. What would have been lost if the fire did reach you?
Well, we have a lot of antiquities at the Getty Villa, you know, Greek, Roman, Etruscan objects, cultural items. And so we do a lot of preparation to make sure we do not lose anything of these priceless treasures. One thing at Getty, we spend a lot of time planning there, and we have a strong culture of safety. We work very closely with the fire agencies, government officials, and the community to plan. We also spent a lot of time working on making sure, and when these firestorms arrive, these red flag warnings, low humidity, high winds, that we're prepared. And we do a lot of things like brush clearance, fuel reduction on the property, so that should a fire get onto our property, it'll be manageable so we don't have catastrophic losses.
Yeah, this is a very cultural place. It's a cultural compound. It's sort of perched high on that hilltop, very dry. We just saw pictures then of the flames almost reaching that compound. There's high winds predicted again today. What's in store, do you think? Are you ready? And how scary is this situation as a whole, really?
It's scary. These winds are really quite something else right now, and it's also the very low humidity, something that we just really don't see these kinds of levels of kind of risk at this point. But we're prepared and we're doing well at this point. So we're continuing to be safe and working to support the community around us.
Okay.
Well, Michael, thank you so much for your time. We wish you and your staff members all the best for what is to come, and we're glad that you've escaped unscathed so far.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
We are going to get straight to that major emergency unfolding in Los Angeles right now. As we go to air, 4 major fires are surrounding the city and raging out of control. Harrowing images show the apocalyptic blaze. Near Malibu, residents filming as fire engulfs their home.
You're gonna be okay.
Incredible pictures, aren't they? Hurricane strength winds are fanning the blaze. Our crews on the ground.
People in this area are still in harm's way. Authorities say that they are not out of the woods yet, and still these incredibly strong winds are picking up, fanning flames like this, continuing to destroy properties in the heart of this fire zone.
At least 2 people have been killed and there are multiple people with significant injuries. Authorities giving this dire update.
The fire is growing. We have no percentage of containment. We have an estimated 1,000 structures destroyed.
Hard to fathom, isn't it? Live now to 9 US correspondent Jonathan Kersley, who is at the Pacific Palisades fire near Malibu. Good morning to you, Jono. The devastation there is just hard to comprehend.
Hard to comprehend, but this is that devastation. This is the Pacific Palisades Bowl, a caravan park, or at least it was. Now there is nothing left. It's been flattened. What's left are the elements of people's livelihoods, cars, furniture. There's still unexploded gas bottles lying around. And the concern here now is this wind. The wind gusts here now, they're around about 80 kilometres or so when they keep popping up. And you can see from those palm trees just the force of that wind as another gust comes through. And that smoke that is coming over the top there, that thick black smoke, is from the Pacific Palisades fire itself, where there have been hundreds and hundreds of homes that have been simply burnt to the ground. The fire in there is still burning. As the authorities have said, this is 0% contained. So too is the one in the north of Los Angeles. Right across these fires, there is just utter devastation. In this area today where we were, every street we went to, it was the same picture time after time after time. Homes razed to the ground. In some instances, some people trying to return to see if their property was still standing, but it wasn't. And the concern for authorities now is not only people trying to come back in, they've already made 2 arrests for people who have been suspected of looting in and around these areas, but the emergency concern is down to this wind. It keeps picking up in quite strong gusts in and around that 80 to 90 kilometre an hour mark, and this fire is nowhere near contained yet. In fact, they can't even get the water bombers in place because it is so windy, and authorities say that that won't happen until later on today, only when the conditions are safe to do so. It's just gone 10:30 or so here in the morning, and there are wind warnings in place right until 6 p.m. local time tonight. So this has hours to run yet, and authorities stressed earlier that nobody here is out of the woods, that this right now is a danger zone, and it's a danger zone on many fronts again.
Jonathan Kersley live in Pacific Palisades. Thank you.